questions in person, we'd like to start us off.
Sure. Pat, I will start with the cliche maybe and ask you about Brandon. You know, I understand the nature of the business. We all do. Players change clubs, what happens. But is this different? Will it feel different seeing him in the opposition colors because of, you know, the role he played in the FC Cincinnati project and just all of that?
Maybe a little, less so because we've been watching them, you know, as their season started, because, you know, from afar, you're rooting for early success for Brandon, because we know, you know, what a great part of our history he was, and what a great person he is. So, you know, when we were away in preseason watching their games, it was great seeing his production and the immediate impact. So, yeah, when you walk out there tomorrow, maybe it's interesting to see him on the other side of things. But I think what you're going to see is a nice embrace from a lot of his teammates and coaches at the right time, and you know, both teams going to compete, and then you know, maybe having a chat afterwards. But it doesn't feel that strange. I think it's just exciting for you know, us being able to match up against a top team with him on it.
And the way he's scoring right now and the quantity, it feels like as hot of a streak as maybe he was on at times in 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if just with the ways he's scoring, the kind of service that he's taking advantage of, does he look like the same Brandon, or is he doing something? Is he progressed in this short period?
I think you see a lot of the stuff that helped him be successful with our group. You know, one of the things you do see is a team that has very good wide delivery, and Brandon certainly knows how to get on the end of that. Some of the goals he scored with his head have been outstanding. So it's something we've talked about, and you know, his teammates know from their time, you know, together, that his movement in the box is difficult to handle. So it'll be something that we need to be you know, very good with and organized with, you know, when they're in our attacking third of the field, as to locating him to try to prevent him and, you know, dangerous teammates around him from, you know, causing those problems.
What can you tell us about just Monterey? What's your doubt about them aside from Brandon?
Yeah, they're really good. You know, obviously they're sitting at the top of Liga MX, you know, with Pachuca and the third team. Who am I missing here? Cruz Azul, and undefeated. They're just well balanced. I think they have really good experience, you know, from the goalkeeper position in Andrada to, you know, Hector Moreno, who we've watched, you know, all the way back from our time, you know, when I was working with US Soccer, and we were preparing for qualifying. So he's a very experienced player, very good on the ball, good leader. You know, Gallardo on the left, excellent player, excellent wide delivery. You know, Jesus Corona is a name that's familiar. You see Canales. There's a lot of names. Berterame. There's a reason they're at the top, is because of players like this, individual quality, collective quality, a team that can beat you in different ways, whether it's in possession with individual quality or how they play through you. At times not afraid to play direct and use, you know, some of the physical profiles and presence up top to be able to get in behind, create knockdowns. In transition, they recover very well defensively, and on the attacking side, they move forward to goal very well. They do a really good job of getting numbers into the box, and that's difficult to deal with, you know, from the defensive side of things. So it's been, you know, just a couple days of review once we, you know, finish the Chicago game. But like I said, we've at least seen more of their games because of us following Brandon to, I think, have a better idea prior to, you know, these past 2 or 3 days. But a really strong side. It'll be a good challenge for us.
You guys added DeAndre to the mix. What can you say about what you expect him to bring the team, and how quickly? I mean, he's obviously an experienced player. You feel like he can slot right in. What are kind of your expectations?
Yeah, he'll have a role in this game. He's been a part of these games. I asked him earlier, you know, how many, if he could count, whether it was with the U.S. team or in Champions Cup, and he can't even name them all because it's been a lot going all the way back to his Sounders days. So I think his experience can be very, very helpful for us. It's only been a couple of days, but you can see his qualities immediately. He's stepped into the group with, a confidence that you would expect of an experienced player that's played, in Europe, played it on successful teams in the league. So we're thrilled to have him. And, I think he's going to be somebody that can be very, helpful for us in this competition against the top team.
This is kind of the first opportunity to show what you learned from those experiences, or is that perhaps overstating?
I think our experience and who we've brought in, with DeAndre, with Miles, along with just being players that, we identified and thought would be a good fit for our group, can help us navigate this, certainly, because they've experienced these games before. And, as has Matt, I'm looking at through our lineup of guys who have experienced, whether it's Champions Cup or, against Liga MX teams and players in the past. I think the additions can really help a group that, is relatively new in terms of this competition and this team in particular. So, yes, I think it'll benefit us early on, but, it's also early on. So we have to see what it looks like with all of these guys together.
We'll go to Zoom now and Leopoldo. Leopoldo, go ahead.
Coach, yeah, I'm here. Coach, I don't want to be repetitive, and it's not my intention to go into the strategics, but what is your way or what is your system to prepare for the next opponents? How you work when you know that you have to face the next opponent? What is your sessions or your time entitled to know how to prepare your strategy?
It changes every game. Our focus first and foremost is on our own personnel and trying to find ways to play in a way that suits us and benefits us. That's how you prepare. It doesn't always play out that way, but each game looks different. There's actually some similarities to the Chicago game with Monterrey that we've looked at. And while the teams are maybe set up differently, or in Chicago's case, we saw something different than we prepared for. You try to prepare ideas for the group that play to our strengths and look at ways to expose your opponent. And then, you see how that plays out and you make adjustments in game. But, Monterrey, like I've said, is a new opponent for us. So you're looking at their league play, their Champions Cup games to evaluate how we go about things with our game plan.
Go back to you here first, Pat Brennan.
I know you'd always said that you wanted the team you wanted the club to get this exposure, this opportunity, challenge yourselves, see where you're at compared to other great teams in this region. The fact of the matter is, here in the round of 16, FC Cincinnati, a team that won a trophy in MLS last year, will be facing the #1 team in the region in the round of 16. Is that? I wonder if people have asked me, and I wonder if you think this is too early for two teams of that caliber to be meeting in the competition. I know it is what it is, but
it's the way it is. It's not too early. It's good. It's just good to be playing top teams in tournament play. We looking back to last year with Leagues Cup when we played Chivas, that was at the time a top team, in the league as well. And a great game, a great environment. It was something new for everybody. So, I imagine the atmosphere will seem, similar or feel similar to last year. I know it's a different competition, but it's not too early, and it's a good for us. specifically, it's a good early test to see what some of our new faces look like against top competition and what the group looks like as we, continue to, evolve and grow together.
DeAndre's addition, sorry, solidifies that right wing back spot. You guys have three pretty decent options there at least. I guess that before, but with Luca out, I'm curious what you thought of Yuya playing on that left side, and is that, do you feel like that's an option you'll continue to look at going forward, or how do you handle that?
We like the depth we have at, that position on both sides. And with Yuya, I've said it many times, he's a versatile player that allows you to look at different things because of his, physical attributes, his technical ability, and his willingness to help the team. And so, it was last minute, but we thought him being on the left was something that we could still find success with. And I thought he did a good job. He's, when you're technically a solid player, you know how to receive the ball, you know how to play out of pressure. You can be positioned in different places on the field and find a way to impact the game in a positive way. So I think when we look at the physical numbers too, we know he can do it through, the first couple games. So that's important because it's demanding. And now it's, for me, the production, because we ask a lot of our wingbacks and we ask a lot of them in terms of getting into spots higher up the field to impact things in front of goal. So, that's something I think, certainly needs improvement, but I thought his positioning, recognizing when to release to get pressure to, wide areas when, sometimes there's uncertainty about, is the center back, is Ian ready to cover for him and shift wide? I thought that you could see progress there for sure. And then just understanding how to position himself when we have the ball to make an impact. So overall, a strong performance by Yuya, but not unexpected. Mhm. Yeah.
But it feels like, is he getting closer at this point? Or?
He's available. He's been cleared. So he's been with us full in training, and now it's just kind of, what makes sense to start to, integrate him into the 11 or on the bench. So that's a positive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everybody, welcome to the official CONCACAF Champions Cup press conference. We have defender Ian Murphy. We'll begin with questions from person. Hello.
Taking the top team in CONCACAF, what is this opportunity? Obviously, it's a big test for you guys, but what are your thoughts just going into a match like this?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little beforehand, obviously, how good they are and how well they're doing in Liga MX right now. And I think it's just like an opportunity for us to prove how good we are at this stage and go out and compete.
Ian, they're deeper into this part of their season than you guys would be into the MLS season. Do you expect a big disparity in terms of fitness, or is that something you feel like you can probably overcome?
No, I don't think that will really be an issue. I mean, I feel like we did a good job in preseason of getting ready for the season. I mean, I feel great, and I think the other guys feel good as well. And we were expecting, obviously, the busy start to the season, and I think we prepared well for it. So I think that won't be a problem.
So I'm going to ask you about Brandon.
Okay.
Pretty predictable, right? And only because I think everyone appreciates that in pro sports, players change teams. It's part of the business, right?
Mhm.
But you and Brandon were part of an era in FC Cincinnati that was really meaningful, and it did help change the course of this whole organization. And I would imagine that there's a bond there potentially. So I just wonder, given all of that, will it be strange to see him in the stripes of Monterey? And, you know, is this different than seeing someone else who maybe you used to play with that has changed teams?
I mean, it'd obviously be strange to see him kind of on the other team, especially so soon after he just left. But I mean, yeah, obviously you spoke to it how we were here at the same time and turning this club around or helping too. But yeah, especially because he was one of the guys that really helped me when I came in my rookie season, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's our opponent this time, and so we just have to go about it with that mindset.
I wanted to ask you about the atmosphere, the attitude with the club right now with the guys, and you guys have been in big games before last year. Do you feel like the group has responded differently now? Is the competition different compared to say like playoffs, open kind of other cup competition? Do you guys feel like the atmosphere is similar or different?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's like a new competition for us. I mean, obviously some of the guys have played for their other teams before they came here in it, but I feel like we like these past couple seasons we played in big games, and I feel like we're kind of going about it with that mindset. So I feel like we're prepared for it.
So like last year, don't
Yeah.
different.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to ask about one of your teammates, DeAndre Yedlin,
Hmm.
first time out in training the last couple of days. What's it been like with him on that back line, or him get an opportunity to get to know him?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he came and he just kind of like fit right into the group. I think it's been good, and I think he's a really good player. Yeah, it's gonna be good having him for sure.
Feel odd having these this meaningful of a game so early in the season? Like it's something new, obviously, for everyone, or not everyone, but for a lot of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange because obviously the season just started. We're 2 games into the MLS season, and we're having this game already, this big of a game. But I mean, it's something we talked about a lot in preseason, something that we knew we needed to build up for and be ready for. So, I mean, we feel good going into it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you guys.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks a lot.